What's up, guys? It is 9:01 a.m. U.S. Pacific Daylight Time. We have a few more weeks of daylight savings time, and then we fall back. Fall back until March. I think November 7th is when you set your clocks back, or your clocks set themselves back nowadays. Guys, it is Thursday, October 7th. Oh, we have a month to go until daylight savings time ends. 2021 AD. Some of you guys don't observe daylight savings time, so you're going to be waiting an extra hour, I guess, until we start. Those of you over, or your daylight savings time honoring starts at a different time than ours does. What a mess. Anyway, it is 2021 AD, Anno Domini, the year of our Lord. I have a beautiful song, I think, to share with you from OK. You know how I've been playing OK? I've been playing Christian music kind of at the beginning of my show, in the middle of the show, just to share my life before Bond with you. It's kind of fun, and sometimes they have an interesting message. Well, OK is not Christian, or that I know of anyway, or was not, but it is Marty Anderson. He had Crohn's disease, or has, if he's still living, and if he's still suffering from that. And he has some deep stuff to share, I feel. This track is entitled Give Up. It's from the 2005 album High Road on Absolutely Kosher Records. Enjoy Give Up by OK. I think you'll like it. Nice.
I spend so much time boarding up my mind for you. What else could I do? And I tried every way so that the fear could stay around.
Haters in the chat.
To go up, to go down, but I'm gonna give up. I've got to give up.
Nice.
I'm gonna give up. I've got to give up. I'm gonna give up.
Sometimes it's right to give up.
I've got to give up. I'm gonna give up.
For the love of your listeners, Hake, please stop.
I've got to give up.
It's not that bad. Thank you. Deep lyrics. Thank you, Elijah. That's all I can do. Not to read the all caps in the chat. Give up on this song. Marty Anderson, ladies and gentlemen. There's his, if you're looking at the video, you can see his studio, computer, speakers, instruments. Do not smoke pot. Is that a finger or a toe? Okay sign there. Or a white supremacist precursor. Hey, why are you sad? 05? What was my state of mind? And on you go. I don't think he means 666, he means okay. White power sign? Illuminati. Confirmed. Hake hates us. Okay, our white supremacy. This melody rules. Hake, this mess induces suicide in weak people. Do not commit suicide, guys. That was brought to you courtesy of Absolutely Kosher Records in Berkeley, California. Well, I hope you enjoyed that as much as I did, or at least enjoyed talking trash about it as much as I enjoyed reading your trash about it. But let's get right on with... I'm doing the okay sign like him. With the show!
1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, it's the Hake Report. The Hake Report. La la la. Oh, it's the Hake Report. The Hake Report. La la la.
Hey guys!
Oh, it's the Hake Report. The Hake Report. La la la. Oh, it's the Hake Report. The Hake Report. La la la.
So, how are you guys doing? I'm fine. And I have some things to share with you. Let me tell you what I want to talk about. By the way, there was something yesterday that I wanted to share with you. Let me get right to that. Yesterday, I was perusing, maybe it was 2 days ago, perusing IG, Instagram. IG is short for Instagram. And there's this guy, I don't know if I follow him or not. He's a podcast host, so he is a competitor. But Joe Rogan shared this "Men Can Get Pregnant" headline. And I screenshotted the headline. It's from an outlet that I'd never heard of called Healthline. Healthline. And under their parenthood section, parenthood. And then pregnancy. This is their website, right? Can men get pregnant? Subtitle. Is it possible? Text. Yes, it's possible for men to become pregnant and give birth to children of their own. In fact, it's probably a lot more common than you might think. In order to explain, we'll need to break down some common misconceptions about how we understand the term man. Not all people who were blah, 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 blah. Probably they're going to go on to say, not all people who were born male or with male marked down on their birth certificate are actually men. Gender is a spectrum. So phony, so evil, so misguided, so female-minded, intellectual. Oh, what is this nonsense that I came into? Say, what? What's up to the Facebook crew? Nice to see ya. What up, birthing people? Says Guchnaba. Or Gook. I don't know how to pronounce that. Gucc. New word. Nabba. I get all kinds of... I have a very diverse audience. Thank you, man. I've certainly heard worse songs, says Ebre. Yeah. Well, guys, it's ridiculous. And that is the evil world that we live in. I will get to your calls, guys. You can call in. Some of you are already on hold. 888-775-3773. 1-888-775-3773. If you are overseas, I've tested it out. You can call, well, not from overseas, but I've tested out from Skype. You get the Skype app on your phone, and you punch in a number. If you type in a toll-free number, as they call it, such as an 800 number or 888 number, it's free overseas. You don't have to, normally you have to pay Skype in order to be able to call a landline, but if it's a toll-free line, you can call that. Very cool. I appreciate you guys joining. It's an insane world. Some of the evil people, including Joe Rogan, whom I consider to be pretty evil. I actually do. Misguided. I mean, most people are evil. Weak and liberal, cringy, supporting all kinds of mess like smoking pot, which if done, should be done in the closet and in shame to try to overcome all things. Same thing with the alcohol and all that mess, right? Well, even some of them are seeing the insanity. One such person who might have seen the insanity is apparently this Lieutenant Colonel Scheller guy. I don't have a picture of him. Stuart Scheller. Would you mind Googling that picture? Like a picture of this guy? Stuart, S-T-U-A-R-T, Scheller, S-C-H-E-L-L-E-R. Lieutenant Colonel. He's the guy who's been, in my opinion, I felt that he was a bit grandstanding after his initial video. I saw a video of this Lieutenant Colonel, he's a Marine, Scheller, who was a bit outraged or disappointed in his so-called superiors in the military so-called leaders who... Buster Goblin says, in my closet right now, hey, don't tell everybody. What the heck? Don't tell everybody you're smoking pot. There he is, Lieutenant Colonel Scheller. He's a Marine. And also, allegedly, I feel like I saw a Breitbart headline about this guy. He was a Trump hater. Or a guy like, oh, I don't need your help, type of a Trump hater. Huh. But I agree with him that the people in the top military stuff, they should have taken responsibility. But of course they're not going to. With regard to the Afghanistan retreat, the evil retreat it was an evil retreat. Not that they should have been there necessarily in the first place, but in Afghanistan, we had lots of soldiers and civilians there, and then a lot of people who were called Americans or were called helping America, when in reality, a lot of this help is really destructive. Most government workers, scum of the earth. You know what I mean? Think about your average government worker, your average bus driver, your average grandstanding government official, local public servant, school board member, right? They're all the worst. Many of them are some of the worst people. Power hungry, phony politician-like, and all of that. Well, this Lieutenant Colonel Stuart Scheller, reportedly charged with 6 violations of Uniform Code of Military Justice violations, will face trial by court-martial October 14th. And he was freed from pre-trial detention October 5th, yesterday, 2 days ago, after being placed in the brig, that's jail, in September for criticizing senior military officials over the U.S. withdrawal from Afghanistan. I'm sorry, I thought this was America. Well, he did it in uniform. I was watching a former JLP guest, Brandon Tatum, saying anytime he had criticisms or spoke on politics, he was not in his uniform, even when he was a cop, and looking at all this Black Lives Matter madness. And there was Black Lives Matter madness, including inside of the government. In these police chiefs and all that, police chiefs are politicians. And the mayors and city council members, phony politicians, and they run some of these police departments. And the DAs, city attorney, state's attorney, some of the worst people. Remember that Marilyn Mosby, state's attorney out of Baltimore? Black female. I heard your cries of no justice, no peace. And then I believe she was the one who brought charges against the 6 or so officers in the Freddie Gray case over in Baltimore, Maryland, where they accused the cops of giving him a rough ride because his spine was like 80% severed and he ended up dying. He ran from the cops. He was a drug dealer. And they had this massive funeral for him. Obama sent 2 representatives of the Obama administration to this thing. They acted like he was MLK. And maybe MLK wasn't... I think that MLK at least pretended to be upstanding, which you have to respect that. People who hide their issues, show some shame. People accuse Bill Cosby and Bill O'Reilly of stuff. Those guys protected they had some respect for society. They hid their stuff, as everybody should. Have some shame, or not actually. Anyway, have some respect. Have some dignity. Don't be like those transgenders who are recording themselves and then recording other people trying to catch the other people be politically incorrect. We're so ridiculous. This guy's been charged with contempt toward officials. Rightly so. Those officials deserve contempt. Disrespect towards superior commissioned officers. They don't deserve respect. Willfully disobeying a superior commissioned officer. I don't know. Oh yeah, they told him, you have to be quiet about this. Don't post on any more social media. And he kept on doing it. This Stuart Scheller guy. Dereliction in the performance of duties. They should be charging themselves with that. Failure to obey an order or regulation. They should be charging themselves with not protecting the country. The job of the executive branch is to protect the country from the illegal invasion. They're not doing that. Conduct unbecoming of an officer and a gentleman. Back at them. But anyway, he's charged with all these crimes. Selective enforcement. There's selective enforcement against the January 6th mostly peaceful protesters, and January 5th too. I read to you in Hake News at the end of hour 1, I believe, of Brandon Strzok. Brandon Strzok. He's that guy, and yes, he's openly, shamelessly, apparently, at least last I heard, into the homosexual thing, mess, which is mess. Shouldn't do that, but he apparently doesn't know better. We've grown up in a corrupt world, and he's seeing the evil in the world and responding to it and trying to react in the best way he can. Just like this Stuart Scheller guy, I think, unless he is just a grandstander. A lot of you guys accuse people of being grifters, people who are on the public stage in some form or other. He's a grifter. Don't trust him. But some of these people are that. You know, look at the average Tea Party elected candidate. Total disappointment. Look at the average Republican. Total disappointment. I bet you if we get some nationalists in office that we ourselves support, many of them will be disappointments. Because people are weak, prideful and all that stuff. But he was saying, I walk away from the Democrat Party. This guy, Brandon Strzok. He's been on the Jesse Lee Peterson show before. He's had Jesse speaking at one event. And he knows where JLP stands against the homosexuality thing. So that's cool. People say, elder. You think elder? I don't know. But that's crazy, huh? I heard he's a Trump hater, but still, I side with him where he's right. Meanwhile, black radicals are hyping this insurrection thing. The head of the insurrection panel, I heard, so-called insurrection, meaning the mostly peaceful protests, they're not talking about the real ones, is the personification of evil, says Joseph Farah, another former JLP guest of WorldNet Daily. Benny Thompson. Would you Google a Benny Thompson picture? He's this light-skinned, weird-looking black guy, kind of fat. Old, little-known Mississippi Democrat who chairs the Congressional Commission that blames the January 6th, quote-unquote, insurrection on Donald Trump. And on you, the MAGA crowd, or you, the nationalists who are no longer MAGA. Not on the FBI provocateurs. Benny Thompson, for 50 years, he's been a radical's radical, says Joseph Farah, writes Joseph Farah. There he is, look at him. He even has freckles like me, I think, if I remember correctly, if you zoom in on that face. Look at that face. Benny Thompson, what a joke. Openly sympathizing with a secessionist group known as the RNA, Republic of New Africa, that blamed law enforcement for instigating violence that resulted in the killing of a police officer and wounding of an FBI agent. This is Benny Thompson. Back then, The FBI counterintelligence memos warned of imminent guerrilla warfare against the U.S. by the RNA, Republic of New Africa. Blacks, right? Black radicals. Probably never heard of the RNA, yet Benny Thompson kept it alive until 2013 when he campaigned for the group's former vice president to be mayor of the biggest city in Mississippi. Wow. And it's public record, by the way, documented in newspapers, video footage, state and FBI archives. John Solomon, the great. Is he great? He's appeared on Fox News. He writes for The Hill, I believe. John Solomon, Solomon. Did some awesome reporting, says Joseph Fair on Thompson, for Just the News. Ever heard of Just the News? I think you guys probably have heard of Just the News. Seemed like a decent outlet to me. My impression. A subversive, true and proud insurrectionist. That's Benny Thompson. And now this guy is the head of the January 6th Commission, right? Something like that, I think. It's not unusual for leftists to change their stripes as Democrats. Take Bobby Rush of Illinois. Bobby Rush. Is he the guy who wore the... Yeah, Bobby Rush. He's the guy who wore a hoodie, I think. Is it? Is he the same guy who wore a hoodie? Bobby Rush hoodie. Let me just make sure. Yeah, it was Bobby Rush. Over the... back in the Trayvon Martin days, you guys remember Bobby Rush? He put on a hoodie inside of Congress, just making a mockery of Congress. I guess it's a mockery of Congress that he's even there. Bobby Rush of Illinois was the co-founder of the Black Panther Party in 1968. A proud insurrectionist too, says Joseph Fair of World Night Daily. Black Panthers were armed, and in the year before, 1967, they stormed the state capitol in Sacramento, California. Wow. Tables have turned for Thompson and many other elected Democrats, and now he has sights on Trump and MAGA leaders, imputed them with their own radical notions. Projection. They know that they're lying. I have to believe that they know that they're lying. Evil people. Doesn't take much to excite Hank. Well, look at... Do a Bobby Rush hoodie picture because it's just so ridiculous. So ridiculous. It'll make you excited too. Obama's son Trayvon. That's the one. Trayvon Martin, who attacked George Zimmerman allegedly. And George Zimmerman had to kill him in self-defense. By the, it all shows. I will get to your calls. Hang tight, guys. 1971, FBI agents in the Jackson Police, Jackson, Mississippi, raided a home where the RNA members, Republic of New Africa members, insurrectionists, were holed up. They were met with gunfire, killed one officer, wounded a second officer, and an FBI agent. FBI served a warrant, gave those in the house 75 seconds to surrender peacefully. Tear gas was fired. And I'm not necessarily for the FBI either. Even back then, I wonder if they were pulling shenanigans like they're doing today. Look, there's Bobby Rush. That's inside of Congress. Look at that beautiful white culture podium thing that he's sitting at. And maybe the microphone was invented by black. I don't know. But look at that. What a disgrace. How far America has fallen. He's wearing a hoodie. There he is on, I think this was on like CNN. He's wearing his hoodie on a TV. You know how they stand inside the Capitol building? I assume that's the Capitol building indoors. And they go on a news show. He has his, is that a lapel mic right there at the bottom of his hoodie thing? What a joke. Wearing sunglasses. Pathetic. So, tear gas was fired. Firing commenced from inside the house. Shootout made national headlines. Benny Thompson came to the defense of the group. You know, same thing with that evil, as JLP describes her, Wicked Witch of the West with the low IQ Maxine Waters. She stood up for the... Did she stand up for the people who stomped Reginald Denny after the LA riot? Not that LA riot, the LA riot with the... after the beating, Rodney King riots. She was standing up for all kinds of mess. Black so-called leaders. Snopes says false. What? Snopes says what's false? Maxine Waters? Oh, oh yeah, okay. I disavow what I just said because Snopes says, far be it from me to say something inaccurate. Maxine Waters supports evil. She just does. On the Reginald Denny thing, Snopes says that Maxine Waters didn't defend the people who stomped Reginald Denny or threw a cinder block at his head or whatever. But blacks did that, by the way. Blacks did that. And you hear Maxine Waters being a radical evil person. Ridiculous. Shameful. And now the blacks have switched sides, and now they're on the side of the FBI now that the FBI is anti-white. Ridiculous. Anti-American. It's amazing how 50 years can make such a difference. Dozens of MAGA members being held in solitary confinement, according to Farah. Many others waiting outrageous charges for what is being characterized as the worst event since the Civil War compared to 9/11. What in the world is going on here? It's really evil. Meanwhile, this. Before I get to calls, let me play for you just a few clips of what's going on. These scenes reminded me of South Africa. Clip 11. Nicole Sherrod on Twitter wrote, express checkout at the Louis Vuitton. Is that how you pronounce it? Louis Vuitton? Louis Vuitton, I think, in the Northbrook Court on North Shore of Chicago. Watch this clip. You'll see blacks, I assume they're blacks, look like blacks, running away in the side of a mall, outside of this store, this rich, well-to-do store. I've never set foot in it. And they are, looks like they're stealing. Watch this, if you can. Look, they're running. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. How many? And there goes there's a black security guard. Show it one more time. Let's see if I can count them. I don't know if I can count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Maybe 9? 8 or 9, I think. And then that guy's acting like he's chasing after them with his slow run. That was close enough, Hake. Thank you. Thank you, Leia. So that was up in Chicago. And here's the day prior. Blacks stealing from another store, Bloomingdale's, I guess. Old Orchard was hit, they said, says Nicole Sherrod, who's a woman over on Twitter, I assume. 16th and District Chicago Police scanner on Twitter shared this video. Watch this one. It's 12A, I think. Look at this. Whoa! Whoa! How many was that? And then you saw the guy walking. The guy who was walking was the security guard. Security guard in on it. So play that for me one more time. I'm going to see if I can count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, maybe 3, 4, 5, 6, maybe 7. Crazy. Ridiculous. They're running outside the stores through those windows. Shameful. So here's a news story, a quick news story, very short. Fox 32 News on Twitter. Caught on camera, a group of thieves struck a Bloomingdale's in suburban Chicago. Suburban. Our beautiful suburbs are going away. Going to hell. Remember Trump said, the black community is in hell. What the H do you have to lose? Heck. He didn't say heck. He speaks like a man. This is the headline. At least 7 thieves, make off with purses from Bloomingdale's in Skokie. Say police, suburban Chicago. Listen to this clip.
A half dozen men robbed a Bloomingdale's, and the crime was all caught on camera. This was the scene yesterday at the Westfield Old Orchard Mall in Skokie. Those men grabbed purses and bolted out the door there. You see, they were long gone by the time police arrived, and so far no one is in custody.
They love their mothers. They're just getting purses for their mothers and their baby mamas. I noticed how he called them men. Teens. Why didn't he call them teens? How do you know they're men? Anyway. Thieving is the language of the unheard. Anyway, it's ridiculous. I'm going to get to evil Attorney General Merrick Garland. He's an evil person. He's protecting the people who are going after the children, protecting the women who want to kill the babies who have a heartbeat inside the womb, and he wants to go after the parents who are allegedly threatening, or activists who are allegedly threatening being domestic terrorists against the local school boards and dumb school officials and evil teachers who are brainwashing the children to hate white people, to support the the 2S LGBTQIA plus people. It's evil. And there are a bunch of Republicans, I hear, who supported Merrick Garland. Disgusting. But first, guys, let me finally get to a call. Jeff in Louisiana wants to talk about, he disagrees with my report on Gabby Petito. That's that young woman who got herself killed. Jeff in Louisiana, how are you doing?
Yeah, hey, how are you this morning, man?
Doing fine. How are you?
Just peachy.
Nice. I think I already asked him how is he. You ever do that? You ask somebody how they are, they say, pretty well, just fine, how about you? Fine, how are you? Anyway, go ahead.
Yeah, man, I wouldn't want to be rude or nothing, but I just want to ask how you're... Okay, first off, I want to ask how you're Christian when you're talking about somebody murdered and you laugh on air about it. That's not right.
It's not right to laugh on air about somebody murdered?
Yeah, I've seen reports talking about her and talking about being murdered. And, well, she hear her boyfriend, all this stuff, and it's not right to be laughing on air talking about somebody murdered. But then you report on something, and yesterday you had that interview, so I think it was the day before, that you said she was adopted. Her name was Petito. She wasn't adopted. Her dad's name's Petito. Her stepdad's name's Smith. So how do you report on stuff when you don't know the facts about it?
You're coming in really rough. It's very difficult to understand you.
I said you reported the other day, I think it's Monday, that she was adopted. She was not adopted. Her dad's name's Petito. Her stepdad's name's Smith.
Her stepfather's name is Smith?
Yes, Smith. SCHMIDT.
Schmidt.
Yeah. So how do you report on stuff?
Who's Schmidt?
That's her stepdad. You say she was adopted. Her name was Petito. She wasn't adopted.
What's the stepdad's first name?
Jason Smith, I believe.
Jason Schmidt?
Yes.
Jason Schmidt.
I may have the first name wrong, but his name is Smith.
Schmidt.
Yes. SCHMIDT.
Who's that Petito man who's been grandstanding about her case?
That's her father.
Huh. And that's weird. Well, I didn't say she was adopted. I said she has a stepfather.
No, you said on Monday you said she was adopted. That wasn't the last thing. I remember that
stepfather.
Yeah, you said she was adopted by her stepfather and named Petito. That was one. Anyway, never mind that. I mean, whatever happened, no.
You mumble too much, man. Enunciate.
Okay, now I'm just asking, how do you report on stuff?
Are you on a speakerphone?
No, I'm not on speakerphone.
Okay.
I'm just asking, how do you report on things when you don't actually know the stories of them? I mean, I don't watch news 24/7. I ain't keeping up with the case,
do you think all these other people who are reporting on it know the story? They don't know the story either. They're speculating.
Well, at least you know the names. You don't know the names.
I've never heard of this Schmidt guy. I've only seen that Petito guy who's grandstanding about her. I know this. Okay. I know the real story is that she was going around with this guy whom she was not married to. And
Yeah,
they're a couple of dumb liberals being evil. And I don't know that she was murdered. I heard that there was speculation. It looked like she was maybe strangled, but I don't know. And I didn't laugh about her being strangled. I laugh about other circumstances. How is it not Christian to laugh about other circumstances?
Well, you laughed when you said she was the woman that slapped her boyfriend died. I mean, that's just not right.
I can't even understand what you're saying.
You laughed when you was talking about her dying, and you didn't say murder, but when you talked about her dying, you laughed because she was slapped her boyfriend.
She was wet? She was wet? Oh, slapped her
You
boyfriend.
laughed when you talked. Yeah, when she.
Because it's a mockery.
Slapped her boyfriend.
Well,
huh?
Why are you sitting around judging me ignorantly? Don't even know what I'm laughing about. You're judging me. You're the one who's wrong.
I'm not judging you, man.
Yeah,
I
you
want
are.
to show every. Okay, if you want to talk over me, I can hang up now because that's all you do every day. When you can't prove somebody wrong, you talk over them every day. Every day, that's all you do. You talk over people. If you won't let me speak, let me speak. If not, bye.
You're running your mouth right now. I'm letting you talk. You got issues, Jeff.
How do I have issues, man? What
Because
issues
you're
do I
calling
have?
in complaining about me laughing, saying, how can I be a Christian? When I'm laughing, because this whole story is basically a joke.
How was it a joke? Okay, just explain to me. How was it a joke?
Okay. Why do you even know about this case? Why do you even care about this case?
I don't care about it. I'm just pointing out where, you talk about being Christian and everything, and you're laughing.
Why do you know about this case?
It's in the media.
Exactly. Why is it in the media?
To be honest, to be brutally honest, and it's disvalue my point, but to be honest, it's a cute white chick got murdered or has died, and they hunt her boyfriend.
Yeah.
That's why it's in the media.
Yeah, exactly. Isn't that laughable? There's all kinds of evil going on in the world that actually affects us.
That is considering when they were searching for her, they found another dead body out there in that same canyon. I mean, it is laughable at that point, but I mean, it's just not.
Isn't it ridiculous?
Isn't
it ridiculous that it's more than just her family and the local cops of the different areas that are affected? Isn't it ridiculous that it's a national story?
You know what's ridiculous, man? Now is they got, and this is the whole different point, the whole different topic on it. But now they got black families coming on TV and saying, "Well, if it wasn't a white girl, they wouldn't be searching for them." We have people missing.
Yeah.
I mean, dude, it's just shit. It's just driving the media is all it is. I mean, it's.
And isn't it laughable, the overreaction about this situation? Nobody should be caring about this or talking about it, except to make a true point about it. The true point is, don't be going off with your boyfriend you're not even married to. Don't be getting involved with a man when you still have your emotional problems. She was a psycho.
I don't know what she was.
You can make good points about it. If you're going to make good points about it, talk about it. But if you're going to use it to lie about and pretend, oh, we have to care about this story. It's a pretty white girl. Isn't that laughable?
To a certain extent, yes, it is. I mean, the fact that they're bowling up, I mean, yes, it is. But I mean.
So how are you judging me for being a Christian and laughing at this situation?
I'm not judging you. I just
you are.
I'm not judging.
You're saying, how can I be a Christian? That sounds like judgment. Are you a Christian?
No, I'm not.
Oh, okay. How you have a judgment against Christians then? Why do you listen to my show?
I tell you what, man. I'm not a. Well, I would say I'm a Christian. I'm not a Bible stuff. I don't go to church every Sunday. I don't do all that stuff.
Right.
But dude, I believe in God. God does answer prayers, and I believe in God. I know to live right and do what I can do, and that's. I live my life as I don't want anybody to shoot me. I mean, I've been through. If you got a minute, I'll tell you honestly, I should be dead now. I've had I was 5 years old. I got hit by a truck. I had a close head injury.
Dang.
And I was supposed to die, and now I'm working, making money, having a good life. So
Nice.
I believe in God.
And why do you listen to my show?
Man, if you want me to be honest, Hake, is because I started listening to y'all, I think it was last year.
Yeah.
Around the time all that George Floyd stuff was going on, I like listening to Jesse's show, and I'll be honest, I got tired of listening to this show because every day it's the same thing. The woman's evil, the woman's evil, the woman's evil. It's all you hear Jesse say. I mean,
The woman?
I like
about women being evil?
I mean, but I'm not talking. I'm not disagreeing or agreeing with him.
But that's what it is. That's what got annoying to you, and you quit watching.
Yeah, because that's every call is every call. The guy call in and say, somebody call in and say, I made $200,000 off my house. It's because your mom is your God.
Get the phone out of your mouth, man. It's hard to understand you.
No, I'm just saying when you listen to Jesse's show.
That's sounding better.
Somebody can call in and say, a guy call in and say, I made $300,000 last year. I got a good house. I got everything else. But at this point, my life is bad, and all you hear is, you're in love with your mama. Your mama's your God. I mean, it's just shit.
Don't cuss. Don't cuss, Jeff. SH blank blank is considered a cuss word on this show.
Okay.
Yeah, no worries, though. You didn't know.
Crap.
Yeah, that's fair enough.
That's not cuss word.
I try to not even say that one, but it's fine. I get you. I know you mean fine.
Yeah.
I know you mean
yeah,
well.
Man, but I'm not trying to be rude, but I mean, it's just the point is like I listen to your show because you have different opinions on stuff. You don't repeat the same thing to every caller. You know,
I think I wonder if you actually see what JLP's point is. Because it sounds like you either disagree with him or you don't see the wisdom of that, at least not yet.
Okay. Well, I know you can't really speak on JLP since you're not him, but
right. Yeah.
Explain if you can give your definition, your interpretation of it. How is it that every problem in the world is because of your mama?
She's the first, usually, to violate you. The general you, the average baby or boy or girl, child, is violated first by the mother.
Okay, and then how is it? Okay, I know y'all gonna find somewhere to spin us around, but
do you disagree with that?
To a certain extent, yes, I do. Because not because of what you just said. I mean, that is your first interaction with a human being, is your mother.
Yeah, and she can't help but do some wrong to you.
I agree with that. But,
and women are cunning.
Yes, they are. But my problem now, I agree with y'all to certain points on it. Points on it. But this is where my question comes in: is if I'm not trying. Don't want to get banned or sure nothing else, but
no, you're not going to get banned, man. I don't think
say a guy goes around screwing everything he can. He gets somebody pregnant. He never talks to them again. Never nothing. And don't know he has, and knows and they got somebody pregnant, but they have a kid, and the kid's born at the father. JLP's point is he didn't lead you up to your mother. Well, if the guy never made an attempt, he didn't lead your mother. He let you, the child. So you can't blame the woman for that. I mean, you can to a certain point because she affected that with a lot. She just met up with somebody.
Stay close to your phone, Jeff.
Okay.
So I think I understand what you're saying. You're saying there's times when the father leaves, and JLP's point is your daddy didn't leave you; he left your mama.
Yeah, that's my point. But
would he have left the child had it just been the child as opposed to the mother having to deal with the mother? You got to call you really got to call JLP on that story, on that stuff, because that's more a criticism of Jesse. Have you ever called his show?
Yes, I have.
Nice.
Over a year ago, but I ain't talked to him recently.
Yeah. You're not sitting on your phone, are you?
No, I'm not.
Okay.
Man, I mumble. I talk fast. My nickname was Mumbles and Boomhauer.
I remember that. I remember something like that. You saying?
Yeah, King of the Hill, Boomhauer. I got that nickname Boomhauer from King of the Hill, and then Mumbles. So I talk fast.
Yeah.
But man, I ain't gonna hold you, man. I know you got more calls to get to, and I don't want to hold everybody up.
So is it clear that I was laughing about
the
ridiculous situation? You accept that?
Yeah, now I understand. You're laughing about the fact that it's freaking, national store, and we got people out here getting. Hell, we spent more time on that shit than we did. I'm sorry, I didn't say cuss words.
Yeah.
We spent more time on that than having a. I don't know why you want to call it Biden, but having him in the White House, and somebody thinks he can't do nothing but sleep. So, our country's going to hell, and we're the missing person and the board plan.
Right. You're getting even more muffled now, Jeff, but I get you. I appreciate your call. Do call again. Take care.
I will, man.
All right. Bye. Hey, he's nice. Brandon M. with the super chat over there. Shout out to Brandon M. Shout out to the Odyssey people. Says he's from Louisiana. They all talk like that. Mumbles and run-on sentences. Referring to our friend Jeff. Yeah, probably so, Brandon. There's a black guy from Louisiana. I said, oh, you're from the South. And then Asmodor says, the Louisiana blacks are some of the worst, is what I think is what he said. Boomhauer is his nickname, Boomhauer. And I guess there was this cartoon called King of the Hill. It's kind of a degenerate cartoon, but a little bit funny, sort of reminiscent of, those other inappropriate cartoons like Beavis and Blankhead, or what else? Family Guy, Simpsons. Those inappropriate cartoons. That's what King of the Hill was. And apparently this Boomhauer guy used to mumble a lot. But thank you, Jeff. I appreciate it. A couple of more super chats, guys, before I get to more calls and stories. Single mom, no baby daddy. Donated, said about the music, I didn't know E.T. had such good vocals. Okay, referring to OK, Marty Anderson of OK. It's messed up, single mom, no baby daddy. Some people did something, says Lord Grimm, and he's laughing. LOL, laugh out loud for the boomers. Actually, probably the boomers, the only ones who still use LOL. And Lord Grimm. Nope, just playing around, Lord Grimm. I appreciate that. Some people did something, referring to the 9/11. And then we all have to suffer because of Islamophobia. Based AF, Based America First, gave some super chats on streamlabs.com/the Hake Report. Langle's listening and engagement in civil conversation is appreciated, as in Brenton Langle, my guest from yesterday's show. Did you guys catch that show? If his position that official statistics distort black crime is correct, does that idea then support BLM being bad for the black community, since much of its publicity is violent? One of your recent callers, and now Brenton Langle, cite poverty as the leading cause of crime. Why do these people ignore Ann Coulter's well-researched book, Guilty, Liberal, quote-unquote, Victims and Their Assault on America? Maybe it's because it was published in 2009 during the Obama administration. Interesting. I had not read Guilty, Liberal Victims and Their Assault on America. But Ann Coulter is a research fiend and was a research fiend. And she knows her stuff. She researches. And Based America First says her book states controlling for socioeconomic status, race, and place of residence, the strongest predictor of whether a person will end up in prison is that he was raised by a single parent, or maybe mother specifically. Fatherlessness is a significant problem, says Based AF, Based America First. Yeah, and then Soul, or one of those guys, said that if you, among, the black married couples, the poverty rate goes way down. So-called poverty. It's morality. It's spiritual poverty. Thank you, Based America First. He changed his name to Based America First, all spelled out, to avoid that millennial degenerate mindset of assuming that he meant the other AF. There is only one AF in the world, in America, and that's America First. America First. Lin Yan Chen says, please ask Maze why us blacks are the conscience. That's right, she said that, of white people. Maze from Dayton, Ohio, called my show just yesterday, all excited because Brenton Langle, it looks like me, because he's white, according to him. And yet he doesn't disagree with me. He doesn't agree with me. And he thinks she thinks blacks are the conscience of white people. Lin Yan Chin says, please ask Maze why us blacks are the conscience of white people if we can only follow what white people did first. Yeah, she called into the Jesse Lee Peterson show today and said, that black guy shooting up the school, white people did it first. He can only do it because white people did it first. She not realize the inversion of her perversion? She lacks sapience. Are you saying that she's not a homo sapien? Sapience, as Satan grinds her mind in emotional constipation. Wow. You get that, Maze? That means she has a grudge. Terrible. Thank you guys for the super chats. Let me just double check them over here. Appreciate that, guys. Before I get back to calls, and I will get to you, one line open, guys. 888-775-3773. Evil Merrick Garland. Let me tell you about this guy. Merrick Garland, was Obama's nominee for the Supreme Court when... Who died? Somebody died or quit or something. Was that I'm blanking on the guy's name. Was it Scalia? Antonin Scalia? Yeah, he died. He had a pillow over his head, which sounded weird. But I don't know. Maybe he was offed. But I wouldn't get into that speculation. That's disinformation. But he wanted Merrick Garland. And thankfully, the rhinos held firm. And Trump got into office and appointed that guy who's kind of good-looking, gray-haired, Gorsuch. He appointed Gorsuch. Neil Gorsuch, who's been a bit of a disappointment. Some of you guys already knew he was going to be no good. And then we got a couple of other Supreme Court justices from Trump. All of them rhinos. But Merrick Garland, since he didn't get into the Supreme Court, Obama, or sleazy Joe Biden, put him as the Attorney General of the United States. Can we turn on the AC? We need some AC in here. So Merrick Garland I don't think that he's a Christian. I mean, obviously, if Obama and Biden support him, he's no Christian. Definitely not a Christian-friendly person. So he's going after parents who are trying to protect their children, who don't want their children to be forced masked, forced vaccinated, and forced the CRT LGBTQIA plus 2SL QQ agenda, the gay agenda pushed on their children. And then they say, parents shouldn't have a say. Evil media, evil government, evil establishment, corporations that support all of this degeneracy. And evil women preying on their children. the father's children want to kill their babies inside of their bodies with a heartbeat even. Babies with a heartbeat killed inside of their bodies. Merrick Garland and the DOJ, the Department of So-Called Justice, are trying to stop all of that stuff. Stop the parents and the Christians and the men and the whites from protecting the kids. So I saw this from Cernovich on Twitter. Mike Cernovich, a center-left, but generally pro-America guy. He's been on the Jesse Lee Peterson show, The Fallen State, a men's conference he spoke at once. Republicans who backed Garland include Blunt, I think Roy Blunt of Missouri, Burr, Senator Burr of North Carolina, Capito of West Virginia, Capito, Cassidy of Louisiana, Collins of Maine, that's that woman, Susan Collins, right? Cornyn, I think he's a Trump hater out of Texas. Is he a Trump hater? Jody Ernst of Iowa. Is it Joni Ernst? Graham, Lindsey Graham, Chuck Grassley of Iowa. He's that old guy. Chuck Grassley. What a disappointment. He's old and he's older than a boomer. And this guy he supported Merrick Garland. The Senate has to confirm the Joe Biden appointments. And these people are Republican so-called senators. Inhofe of Oklahoma. I thought that he was a generally somewhat okay guy. Apparently not. Johnson of Wisconsin. Lankford of Oklahoma. Mitch McConnell of Kentucky. Moran, I think it's Moran out of Kansas. Lisa Murkowski, a woman out of Alaska. Portman, is that Rob Portman of Ohio? Mitt Romney, of course, the sleazy senator, so-called from Utah. I say so-called because he was the governor of Massachusetts, and then he carpet-bagged over to Utah. And the sucker, and generally I like you guys, but sucker, Rhino Mormons voted for Mitt Romney. I assume. Rounds out of South Dakota, Thune out of South Dakota, and Tom Tillis, I think, out of North Carolina, including people from the beautiful South, North Carolina, South Carolina, West Virginia, Louisiana, Texas, if you count Texas as being in the South. Oklahoma is more, I don't know, not quite. Shameful. The Midwest, Alaska even. Cernovich says, call your senators and ask them why they support Garland's threat to imprison parents who attend your school board meetings. 202-224-3121. 202-224-3121. A switchboard operator will connect you directly to the Senate office you request. 202-224-3121. Yeah, call. Don't be sending emails like boomers. Emails don't mean anything. Calls matter. And then going in person matters, but don't go in person, guys, because they'll call you insurrectionists. What a mess. There's a federal judge, speaking of this attack on the children, who is Roe v. Wading into the picture. This is from the Skim. The far-left female ran out of the Skim. In Texas, yesterday, a federal judge blocked that new abortion law there that says if the baby has a heartbeat, you can't kill the baby. And if you do, anyone in America can sue you and anyone else aiding and abetting in the destruction of a child with a heartbeat inside the womb. Specifically, one that bans abortion as early as 6 weeks into a pregnancy. It's funny how they say 6 weeks into a pregnancy, they don't want to admit that the whole point is that it has a heartbeat. The baby has a heartbeat. I say it just because you don't know it's a boy or a girl sometimes. The baby has a heartbeat. They don't want to be accurate. This is fake news. Very deceptive. Puts the onus on private citizens to witch hunt on each other. And yes, they are witches. A woman who's going to kill the baby in the womb, that's a witch. I'm not a witch, I'm your wife. Sound familiar? The law stunned many. Apparently even sound familiar? Witch hunts, the Salem witch trials. Give me a break. You're literally killing babies and you're stunned that we want to stop you from killing the babies. Stupid. The law stunned many, apparently even some who are anti-abortion rights. Who was stunned by that? Anti-abortion rights. There's no such thing as abortion rights. Texas abortion ban goes too far even for some Republicans. A little bit extreme. Says this far-left enemies of the babies Forbes magazine. Allison Durkee wrote about it. She's in the Forbes staff. Several Republicans, including Maryland Governor Larry Hogan, Representative Adam Kinzinger, who's a Trump hater, a total rhino, and he was elected as a Tea Party guy, I think, unless I'm mistaken. A rhino from Illinois. And he was dating, by the way, Mike Pence's like chief of staff or something, and he married her. Hispanic woman, I think. Criticized Texas's near total ban on abortion on Sunday, meaning just this past weekend. Larry Hogan is a fat guy. Larry Hogan, wife. Yep, he married a Yumi, a woman named Yumi. Larry Hogan married an Asian woman. A rhino, he's another Trump hater. Interesting, huh? The Trump hater rhinos are for the killing of the babies. Or am I mistaken? Let me read on. Hogan said on Meet the Press on Sunday that despite being personally opposed to abortion and believing in some state-level restrictions, the Texas law seems a little bit extreme. It's extreme to not want babies killed who have a heartbeat? Maryland governor specifically pointed to the problem of bounties. Texas law says government officials cannot enforce the law, but rather directs private citizens to file lawsuits against anyone who aids and abets in an abortion and stipulates they can earn at least $10,000 in damages if they win. I don't know, Larry Hogan. Kinzinger said on CNN that while he's pro-life, what he doesn't like to see is letting everyone be able to tattle. Oh, somebody commits a murder, somebody kills a baby. That's tattletaling if you tell on them. Under SB 8, private citizens are deputized to enforce this abortion law. These private citizens are better law enforcement, I suspect, than the federal law enforcement. They're the scum of the earth. This guy is evil. Even potentially against Uber drivers who transport a Texan woman to kill the baby inside her womb. He also opposes the fact that it does not include exceptions such as for rape and incest. Yeah, this thing is, which they shouldn't. Give me a break. Barbara Comstock, former representative of Virginia, a woman, identifies as pro-life. She said the Texas law is a bad policy, a bad law. So you get some dumb, evil rhinos who support killing the babies, and they're grandstanding like this is too law. This law is stunning. It's too bad. People wanted the Supreme Court to step in. It didn't. Texas judge is hitting the brakes. And I read that guy's name. Pitman, I think is his name. Pitman. Robert Pitman. Let me see this judge. Robert Pitman, American attorney and jurist, U.S. District Judge of the United States District Court for Western District of Texas. Yeah, 58 years old. Assumed office in December. Does that make him an Obama judge? Yep, appointed by Obama. An Obama judge. Youngest of 5 children. Simp. Robert Pitman, he's bald. Born in Fort Worth. Went to Abilene, so-called Christian University. Student body president. Yeah, phony politician. Student body presidents. Have you ever known a student body president who didn't end up being a phony politician or a phony lawyer / liar / judge? If you are or know somebody who's honest and a student body president, let me know. But nah. He went to law school, law clerk for Judge David Below Jr., and an all-around scumbag, according to Wikipedia. 6th generation Texan, lives in Austin. How far Texas has fallen. Avid outdoorsman and horseman. The first openly gay United States attorney in Texas. Aha! The gays love killing the babies. A lot of them. Wow. Scumbag. Would you Google Robert Pitman for me? This guy This guy's a radical homosexual guy who's saying, no, you have to kill the babies. Block this law. Forget this guy. Appointed by Obama. These people have infiltrated these evil people who support evil. And he's bald, and he's looks like he might have some blue eyes. And he looks like he's white, although he might not be a normal. And no. Sometimes he has a beard. Openly gay U.S. attorney. 6th generation Texan. District Judge Robert Pitman. Not to be confused with Bob Pittman, who has hair. This guy's full-blown bald. Evil guy. Have you found anything that looks like him? This guy looks like he has blue eyes. Scumbag. There he is. I think that's him. Nasty. Evil person. My check bounced gave a super chat and says, so tattle about killing a baby is bad, but tattling on a business about masks or vaccinations isn't worth addressing? Priorities. Good point. G Hall 40 gave a super chat and it sounds like it might be a public service announcement. Does everyone understand that you don't ask for a religious exception? You invoke yours. The Supreme Court already ruled an emergency may not call into life a power which has never lived. Your religious exception was approved in 1776, says G Hall 40. Or whenever they did this First Amendment thing, right? And the First Amendment was supposed to point to something obvious. These were supposed to be so obvious, from what I understand, the Bill of Rights, that they didn't even want to write them down, because if you write them down, then people are going to change them and manipulate them, just like they're doing right now. It should have been so obvious that you can't violate it. Free speech, carry a gun, all that stuff. But no, so wrong. Anyway, guys, we are at 10:08 here in Los Angeles. I have more calls to get to and more stories to get to as well. Sleazy Robert Pitman said the bill keeps women from exercising control over their lives in ways that are protected by the Constitution. Anyway, shameful. Just evil. But first, let me get to another great song. I think it's a great song. Rescue from OK, from the 2005 album High Road. It's part 2. Last week was part 1, Low Road. Enjoy Rescue by OK, or cover your ears, grin and bear it, press mute, you musical Philistines, and I'll be right back for the rest of Hour 2. Hang tight.
Working on the old high and low, wondering just how high it goes. Working on the old high and low, wondering just how low it goes. Working on the old high and low, wondering just how high it goes. Working on the old high and low, wondering just how low it goes. You can save yourself. You can save yourself.
So good. Hake's psychedelic phase. I like it, minus the vocals. My dog is barking and scratching at my phone because of this god-awful music, says DJ Onpa. No song is great. Yes, they are. Isn't this nice? Well, thank you guys for bearing with me through that. Such a great song. The next song is really good too. Might be my favorite on the album. On the High Road Part 2 album. This dude sounds like he has microphaly and Erb's palsy. Microcephaly and Erb's palsy. I don't know these big words, Malkuth X. Elevator music to hell, says Sean Chavez. Let me, before I get to these calls, tell you about this ridiculous, another pro-abortion simp out of where? Where is this Chris Rabb guy from? I have a few screenshots of his tweets and his covered face. Representative Chris Rabb, R-A-B-B, Chris Rabb, a Pennsylvania state representative. Christopher Rabb, R-A-B-B, sleazy guy. Looks like he's a light-skinned black guy or something. Looks slightly ethnic, a little bit white, and a punk. Even though he is bald and has a gray like goatee, it looks like. Let me drag these pictures into the folder, because just to show you what this guy looks like. See if I can do this. Boom. Did that go in? Yeah. Here's another one. Because this guy is a punk. He used to have hair, it looks like. And then he got older and shaved it. Nasty. Okay, Chris Rabb, R-A-B-B, tweeted, "I will be introducing a bill inspired by Representative Kelly Cassidy," whoever that is, "that requires all," listen to this, it's disgusting, "inseminators," meaning males who have sex, "to undergo vasectomies," #vasectomies, within 6 weeks of having their 3rd child or 40th birthday, whichever comes first. Yikes. #reproductive justice. Oh, repro justice. #reproductive rights. #abortion, which is killing babies, is healthcare. Talk about a disgusting person. He goes on, "Additionally, my forthcoming bill will codify the definition of #wrongful conception to include when a person has demonstrated negligence toward preventing conception during intercourse, meaning sex. And this legislation," Chris Rabb goes on, "will allow Pennsylvanians to take #civil action against inseminators for unwanted #pregnancies who wrongfully conceive a child with them. Last, this bill will empower Pennsylvanians to enforce this prospective law by offering a $10,000 reward for reporting to the proper authorities these scofflaws who have not complied with this statute within the allotted time frame." And he goes on to say, as long as legislators, have you seen the pictures of them? I think I put some pictures of him. Chris Rabb. As long as legislators continue to restrict the #reproductive rights of cis women, as well as trans men, which means women who think that they're males. Cis women means normal women. And non-binary folks. Yeah, this is the guy. What a joke. There should be laws to address the responsibility of men who impregnate them. Typical Democrat doesn't want hates babies and men. At NCSL.org, at March for Women, at PP Keystone, whoever that is, at ACLU PA, ACLU of Pennsylvania, at New Voices RJ. What a sicko, huh? His, I think I have a couple of, go to image 334, inside of vasectomy, this is a vasectomy bill, and it's a parody bill. Parody legislation is what it is. It's a real bill, I think. And by the way, he shares a PA House of Representatives memo, Pennsylvania House of Representatives memo, that reads, it was put out October 2nd. For too long, the public debate around abortion, contraception, and related reproductive matters has thrust government into the center of restrictions on the bodily autonomy of women and girls. Rarely is there a meaningful dialogue around policy focusing on the personal responsibility of cisgender men in this sphere. The rights of cisgender men have been paramount in our society, with little focus on their responsibility as inseminators to change their behaviors for the good of their partners, families, and society at large. This guy is, what's wrong with him? A degenerate, a total degenerate. I looked at his profile picture, and he has this mask on him, and it looks like a flowery mask. See that? Look at that. Ugly. Barf. And look at his Twitter profile. Proud dad, rabble-rouser, public servant, representing the people of Northwest Philly in PA's 200th legislative district and all Pennsylvania's. He, him. He's a he, him. And in his recent tweet is New Voices for RJ. You deserve to enjoy sexual freedom at no moral cost. He retweeted this. Find you a field of flowers. Take off your bra and stockings and twirl, sis. You deserve. And it's that Healthline outlet again. Healthline. That's that same outlet whose headline about can men get pregnant was shared by my competitor, Joe Rogan. Who is gatekeeping on black women's sexuality? Asks Healthline. Degenerate. This guy is evil and phony and full of hatred for men. And he's a male. Talk about a cuck. And he's black. I think he's black. Christopher Rabb. Maybe he's not black. He's light-skinned something. Public health is a buzzword, and it has nothing to do with actual health. What a creep, says Bomb Jack. Yeah, disgusting. What people want control over, asks Skim, their own bodies. No, not talking about the vaccine mandate. Did you hear there was another, as Jesse Lee Peterson described it, Dirty Women's March? 5th annual. First one was in reaction to Trump in 2017, the day after he was inaugurated. The 21st, I believe, of January was the first so-called Dirty Women's March, where they wear all those pink hats, and they were called cat hats, but not cat, women's body part, and it represented killing the babies. It was put on by Planned Parenthood and a whole bunch of degenerate, evil, liberal, communist, anti-American people. And it filled the streets, the Women's March. Over the weekend, tens of thousands of useful idiots across America took to the streets. This just happened this weekend. Did you realize that? For the 5th annual Dirty Women's March, protesters condemned Texas's abortion ban for babies with heartbeats and called on the so-called Supreme Court, whose term started just earlier this week, to protect imaginary reproductive rights of women and fake doctors to kill babies in the womb. It's not a reproductive right. A reproductive right is a man has the right to have his baby be had. And the women don't have the right to kill the baby, the man's baby. Sickos. There's a stripper running for Congress. Alexandra Hunt, 28-year-old degenerate, shameless, evil person. Anyway, let me get to a call. John in Kentucky has a question for me. What's up, John? How are you doing?
I'm doing all right, man.
Nice.
I got a question.
Yeah.
Cause you bash black people often, right? Or POCs as you call them. Why don't you
bash them with the truth?
You can say it's the truth if you want, but that's from your perspective.
And it's the facts.
Why don't you direct some of that energy toward whites, since y'all are the ones so weak and giving your country away, and y'all are the ones who own drugs, dying from overdoses left and right.
I'm not on drugs. I'm not on drugs dying from overdoses left and right.
I said y'all.
I don't identify with the y'all mess. That's y'all identify with the y'all mess.
So it's just you.
And you're lying, because I do direct attention toward whites all the time.
All the time, rarely.
All the time, every day.
98% is toward blacks. 2%
that's
is
your
toward
false
what you're
that's your false misconception, because you're so sensitive and
Well,
you identify with your blackness.
Have you talked about it today?
Yes, I have.
Give me an example.
I don't have to give you any examples. You're blind.
Okay, there you go. You just lie all the time.
No,
you
you're the one lying. You accuse me of 98% talking about blacks, bashing blacks, according to you, because you're sensitive, because you identify with your
1%.
blackness.
Give me 1% if you're talking about whites today.
I don't have to.
You don't have to, but if you could, you would.
No, I wouldn't, because you're not my boss. You're not my master. I'm not your slave. Oh, you think you're my master?
Oh man, that was my question, man. Because
you think you're my master? I notice he's not answering the question. I'm not. Do you know I'm not your slave?
No, you're not my slave. What are you talking about?
Because you're acting like I would tell you an example of me talking about whites.
That doesn't make you.
I'm not into the race thing. You're the one who's into the race thing. Because you're blind.
Hey, all you do is bash black people. So you're into the race thing.
That's not true.
Why a lot of us.
All you
show.
hear is the bashing of the black people, because you are a blind person. You're into your blackness.
You have all these nicknames. You call us POC, man, like we're not human.
POC means person of color. That literally means human being.
I know what that means. I know what it means.
Then why are you acting like I think you're not human? You're putting.
Are you a POC?
No, I'm a white.
What color are you?
White.
So that's a color, right?
Nope.
You're POC too.
I know. I used to think white was all the colors of the rainbow. The real one, not the gay one.
Why you gotta be so corny, man?
You're the one who's corny. You're acting like POC wasn't made up by the left. Person of color.
Hey, man,
people of color.
I was listening to that song you was playing, man. That's probably the reason why you don't have a girl, man, because nobody likes that music, even your supporters.
Oh, no, they like corny. It. Why are you trying to bash me? All you ever do when you call into my show is bash me.
I'm not trying to bash you. As soon as I call
I'm not trying to bash blacks. I'm not trying to bash blacks.
Yes, you do, man.
No, how is it you bashing me is not bashing, but me talking about telling the truth to help blacks?
Can you answer my question? Because you never answered my question. You just got defensive. As soon as I
you never answered my question. How is it? How is when you come in criticizing me, it's not bashing, but I criticize blacks, it's bashing?
Okay, I listen to your show, right?
Yes, and I listen to blacks.
You criticize blacks 99% of the time.
That's not true.
So that's why I called in, and I have a question. And
that's not true.
It's bashing.
That's not true.
It's bashing what I'm doing.
And I'm not bashing the blacks. I'm just pointing out what they're doing. Because you people don't want to deal with it.
Why don't you people point out what white people are doing?
I do. Plenty.
You take all the accountability off your own race.
Not true. And I'm not. It's not. I'm not interested in race. I'm interested in individuals. When Jeff.
Black.
Because that's all you're into is black.
That's race.
You think you're an Israelite.
You say you're not into the race.
Do you think you're an Israelite?
See, look, you are so good at switching the subject, man.
No, this is the same subject. Do you think you're an Israelite?
I know I'm an Israelite. You always
See, because
ask me
you're
that
black.
question every time I call.
Because you're into
Huh?
the blackness. If you weren't
No,
into your blackness, you wouldn't be blindly
no.
thinking that you're an Israelite.
If I was into my blackness, I would support Black Lives Matter.
Nope.
And I don't support Black Lives Matter.
No,
I support
no.
Israelites.
Lots of people are into their blackness. They don't support Black Lives Matter. You're lying
So
now.
I'm into my blackness the same way Chris is into his whiteness. It's the same exact thing.
No, Chris is a Christian.
Chris is definitely into his whiteness.
I don't know about
Definitely.
that, but he doesn't
Yes, you
complain
do.
about Jesse or me bashing whites, which we criticize whites
That's because
plenty.
you guys don't. 2% of the time.
No, it's not true, John. You're just
Hey.
deaf because you are so sensitive because you're into your blackness and you think you're an Israelite.
Have you ever heard you need to be the change you want to see? Why don't you speak
That's
to your
what-
people and get them
that
to
was
straighten
made by-
themselves up?
That's a cliche made up by a woman. So don't listen to that. And if you hear my show or hear Jesse's show, it's all about self-examination and repentance. But you don't hear that because you
That's that
are
made-up-
a shallow
That's that
person.
made-up Christianity you worship. That's that made-up
Oh
Christianity.
yeah, the Christianity is made up. Not that the Black Hebrew Israelite thing is made up. Give me a break.
That's in the Bible.
You're a joke.
That's in the Bible. That's
You're-
in the Bible.
You're a joke.
It's in the Bible. You're a joke.
Now you're just copying me.
It's in the
I
Bible.
know you are, but what am I?
You're a 40-year-old immature virgin.
What's wrong with that?
What do you mean what's wrong with it?
What's wrong with it? What's wrong with being a 40-year-old immature
You're
virgin?
running out of time. You need to start a family.
I'm not
Be the
running out of
change you
time.
wanna
Women
see.
run out of time. Men don't really run out of
Be
time.
the change you want to see, Hake.
You're being pathetic. You don't love me.
I sure don't. What are you talking about? I don't love you. I
Then
sure
why are you
don't.
trying
What
to
you talking
offer
about?
me all this nice advice? Be the change you want to
Because
see.
you need to fix
Have
yourself, man.
some babies.
I've never heard you be
Are you-
wrong one time on your show.
Are you
Not
married?
One time. Yes.
You have children?
Yes.
God have mercy on your family
Why is that?
because you're a mess.
I got my stuff
How old are
together.
you?
You need to get yours together.
How
I'm
old are you?
33.
33?
Yeah.
You're no Jesus.
Of course I'm not Jesus. But we're the same race.
Oh gosh. Ooh,
We're the same
that's
race.
deep. That's very deep, John.
Hey, man. Hey, give me one criticism of whites real quick.
No.
You don't have any criticism of whites?
Not for
Give me
you.
one criticism
Not for
of
you.
blacks.
Not to
Give me one
solve
criticism of
salve
blacks.
your injured ego. Your delicate
one
little
criticism.
ego.
That's why you can't answer because of your
Your
ego.
delicate little ego. I won't answer
That's why
because
you
you're not
can't
my
answer
you're not my
because of
slave
your
master.
Ego. Because of your ego.
Your ego.
Give me one criticism of black people.
Do you want to talk to Bible Go-To guy?
No, man, I don't want to talk to him.
Okay.
If
You want a
do, I'm gonna
criticism
have-
of black people?
Yeah, give me a criticism of black people.
John, you need to repent.
That's a black person. Black
Yeah.
people.
You are black
As
people.
a people.
You
As a
are
people.
all black people. You are the typical black person.
Oh my goodness, man.
You are.
So you're the typical. You know what? I can't even say you're the typical white because the things y'all teach are so far fetched.
Thank you.
I can't even put that on your average white person.
Reese's vid
only
says,
your-
psst,
It's only your supporters, your little cult you got going on.
psst, caller. Jesus wasn't black.
What?
Jesus wasn't black. Psst,
Jesus wasn't the blacks?
he was not black.
Yeah, he was definitely black.
Okay. Anyway,
He
man,
was
anything
definitely
else?
Black.
It's fun.
Yeah, man. Trump, real quick. I heard you talking about Obama a while ago about him appointing some gay person.
Yeah.
Trump supports the gays.
Not like
That's your
Obama.
president.
Not like Obama.
It doesn't matter if he supports him a little bit. He still supports him. So he's
Not
a
like
fake
Obama.
Christian. He puts a gay flag on his back, and he claims he's the president of the United States, and he's a Christian, and he's a manly man. He puts a gay flag on.
Not
Tell me
like
Jesse Lee
Obama.
Peterson- Would Jesse Lee put
Did
a
you-
gay flag on?
No, he would not.
He sure wouldn't, would he?
Nope.
Because he at least stands by what he believes.
And
Can't
so
say that
and so
about
does
Trump.
Trump. Trump stands by what he believes. He just
Putting
he
a gay
believes
flag
in being
on?
nice to the gays. Too nice.
Putting a gay flag on.
Yeah. What did
Oh, my
Obama
God.
do? What did Obama do?
Putting a gay flag on.
Did you vote for
That's
Obama?
okay?
Did you vote
That's
for Obama?
okay.
Did you vote for
Don't
Obama?
change the subject.
No.
Trump
This
putting on a
is
gay
the
flag
subject.
Is okay.
This is the subject. Did you vote for Obama?
No, the subject is the last thing you said.
Did you
Do I have
vote for
anything
Obama?
else? Yes, I have something else. What you asked me.
You voted for Obama?
Trump putting a gay flag on is okay.
It's not okay. Did you vote for Obama?
And you still support him.
I support Trump because he's not supporting the gays to the degenerate level that Obama was. Obama appointed this gay judge, and
There's no degree, man.
and
There's
he
no
got
degree.
rid of Obama got rid of Don't Ask, Don't Tell. Which was saying if you're in the military, you have to stay in the closet, and Don't Ask, Don't Tell. That was Bill Clinton put that in, and Obama got rid of it. Not to say, oh, ask, tell, and we'll kick you out. No, he said you can serve willy-nilly and be gay. You can even be transgender in the military. Trump got rid of
And
the
he's
transgenders
wrong.
from
He's
the
wrong.
military.
He's wrong.
Did you vote for him?
They're both wrong. No, I didn't vote for him.
You didn't vote for Obama.
No.
Not once.
I'm not one of the 96% of people who did.
Who'd you vote for?
Nobody.
You didn't vote,
No.
and you don't vote,
I do vote.
but
When I
not
feel
for
good
president.
about it.
In 2008,
When I feel,
2008 and 2012, you sat out.
when I feel good about it, I'll vote.
So in 2008 and 2012, you sat out.
That
Of
was
the
a good way to
presidential
get
election.
off Trump, though. That was a good way to get off Trump. Cause
No.
voting,
I have more.
me voting
I
is
have
not
more
for
where
it.
that came from. They're flying the gay flag at U.S. embassies. Trump was not for that.
Is Trump coming back in 2024? Is he
I
gonna
have
run in
no idea.
2024?
I have no idea.
do you
Trump
let him
was
do?
Trump. He raised the gay flag on a stage. That's nothing compared to what Obama did, which was supporting the gay agenda and
'Cause
putting
he's
that in
gay.
schools. Trump was not for that degeneracy. He's a New York liberal. I knew that he was nice to the gays. I knew that he was going to be
You like
nicer
to
to the
take
gays
up-
than I wanted him to be.
You like to take up for Trump. You're probably going to have a gay flag on in 2024 with Trump.
You have no
Gays
idea
for
what you're
Trump.
talking about. You
Gays
like
for
you
Trump.
like to bash. Did you vote for Trump?
Man, I did not vote for Trump, but a lot of my friends think I did. But I didn't
Why? Why do they think that you did?
because I got some different views than them.
Because you're more conservative or something, or what?
I'll keep my views to myself, but Trump is just as evil as Obama. and
No,
any
he's
other
not.
president
That's
ever
not
been around.
even close to
Yes,
being
he
true.
is.
Trump is honest. Obama is dishonest.
Trump is honest.
Yes.
That's a dishonest statement right there.
No, it's not. You wouldn't know honesty if it slapped you in the face, John.
Man, man, you just got a certain way of thinking, man. You are just odd. You're an oddball.
Anyway,
You're an oddball.
thank you, man.
You're-
But Trump
it's
was
not a
straight up.
compliment.
We knew going into it that Trump was going to be too nice to the gays. Trump didn't pretend to be against same-sex marriage like Obama did. Trump didn't lie like Obama lied. He didn't lie like Bill Clinton lied. He doesn't lie
Is
like
Trump
Joe
a
Biden
politician?
lied.
Is Trump a politician?
No, he's
Was he
better than a
forced to-
politician.
Was he forced to be a politician the last time he ran or
Yeah.
when he was president?
Yeah, but it was not a phony
Okay,
politician.
he was lying. He was lying then.
He was not
He was
lying.
Yes, he was.
No, you're the one. You're lying. You called in lying.
He was faking like he was a Christian. When
No, he is a
he
real
never-
Christian.
He never repented.
You don't know that. Repenting is stopping. Repentance is stopping. He stopped.
Right.
He said he stopped. And
Stopped
there's no
when he
indication that he
first
didn't
became
stop.
president. When he first became president, he stopped.
No, he stopped well before he became president. That's how he was able to win.
So all those parties with Jeffrey Epstein and all them little 14-year-old girls, he wasn't seeing them then.
There's no evidence that he was at 14-year-old girl parties.
You got to have evidence now. Okay, you got to have evidence.
Oh, you
can't just
think
say-
you can just accuse men of pedophilia with no evidence?
can-
What type
you
of
can say
world do you
birds
live
of-
in, John?
You can say birds of a feather flock together. You know, that's true. I'm not going to be hanging around drug dealers if I'm not selling drugs or using drugs.
Jeffrey Epstein
Same
was
for
not
Trump.
known to be a pedophile when Trump was hanging around him.
Are you crazy?
I'm not crazy. Jeffrey Epstein was not known to be a pedophile, and to this
He
day, I
lived
don't
in
even
the
know if it's true.
underworld, man. He lived in the underworld. He knew all the super
He was a
rich people that
Berkeley.
into
He
that
was
stuff.
a Berkeley or what? Harvard or Berkeley? He was like a. Jeffrey Epstein was a political donor, a billionaire, and he was involved in like Harvard and stuff.
And he was involved in sex trafficking little girls to rich white men.
Allegedly.
Okay, allegedly. That's your favorite word when it targets your heroes.
Jeffrey Epstein is not my hero. You're all into this when...
So why are you defending him?
I'm not defending him. I'm defending Trump because you're smearing him without evidence.
You defended R. Kelly last week. You defended R. Kelly, and he's guilty of all that stuff.
You don't know anything.
You got some oddball views.
You're
like
kissing up to women. That's not a good thing.
Kissing up to women?
Yes.
Why? Because
R. Kelly, Donald Trump, you have no idea what you're talking about. It was not.
You have no idea. You just
Aaliyah was not a little girl.
Your ego is so big, you can't even admit when you're wrong.
Aaliyah was not a little girl.
Aaliyah was 14 years old when they got married.
I have no idea, but she was not a little girl.
She was 14 years old.
That's not a little girl.
That's not a little girl?
The Virgin Mary was alleged to have been 13 years old when she got pregnant with Jesus.
You are telling on yourself right now.
Was not
14 years
how
old
old was the Virgin Mary?
As a little girl.
How old was the Virgin Mary?
I don't know how old she was, but 14 years old is a little girl.
I heard the Virgin Mary was 13.
Okay. What does that mean?
That means that's not pedophilia.
So you're calling
Aaliyah a little girl. She was not a little girl.
She was 14 years old.
That doesn't mean she's a little girl. A lot of 14-year-olds are developed. Especially,
oh my God, man. You are a pedophile, dude.
I'm not a pedophile. You're the one who's a pedophile.
You're sitting up here saying it's okay to marry 14-year-olds.
I didn't say it's okay. I'm saying it's not a little girl.
It's not a grown woman by any stretch.
I know, but it's better to have a child at 14 than it is at 30.
Not marry one.
It's better to have a child at 14 than it is at 30. Think about it.
Hake, I don't have to think about it. I have a daughter myself. I have a daughter myself.
You don't have any idea what you're talking about.
When she's 14 years old, I better
The Israelites that you think that you are were into that. It was old men with young girls. You're the one who's all into that stuff. You're into accusing. Malkuth X says, my daughter is 15 and she's a little... That's because you're in her life, Malkuth. Little girls who don't have their fathers in their life, they develop. Huh?
Developed? You mean physically developed?
Yeah,
man?
they develop when they don't have their fathers in their lives.
Just because they have their period doesn't make them a woman. Okay?
You're accusing R. Kelly of stuff that you don't even know. And you accuse Trump without any evidence. You are a sick person. You are sick.
I just don't understand. You are
sick.
Them and talking about 14-year-olds.
No, John in Kentucky.
You are
John
sick.
in Kentucky. You are a sick person accusing a fellow man of something that you have no idea what it is. You are simping. You are simping for women.
Clean up your stuff. You told off.
All right, I gotta go. Anyway, let me get to Bible go-to guy out of Los Angeles, California. Bible go-to guy, go for it.
James, keep playing that music that you play, because the comments are very creative and funny.
Nice.
When they put down your music.
Yeah.
It is hilarious.
Right.
Okay, so this guy John, right, who wouldn't talk to me, and I'm so hurt.
Right.
The Black Israelites actually respect you very much because you are the only white man in the country who will take them on.
Yeah.
The only one. Every other white man, by the time they throw out one or two accusations, they're already giving it up.
Yeah.
They're already like running for cover and pandering and doing what they have to do, somersaults, whatever. You're the only one in the country, the only white man in the country on the air who will stand up to these people and tell them exactly what you think and fight with them tooth and nail.
Yeah.
They don't get that anywhere else.
He's a mess.
These guys they stand on the street corner, rabble-rousing and intimidating and all that stuff. They never get anybody to really stand toe-to-toe with them. And
right.
So they really appreciate you and your show. Now, the thing about criticism, if you were doing 98% of your show complimenting black people, they would have no problem with it. Why can't people take criticisms and compliments and treat them the same?
I know.
As something to be considered. if someone calls you great, it's something to consider.
And the guilty cry out. The guilty consciences cry out. That's why you hear from Joe from Phoenix calling in, defending and lying. And then you hear all these complainers like John from Kentucky.
Yep. And let me ask, let's compare Obama and Trump on the one thing that matters most about whether someone is evil or whether they are a son of God, and that's abortion. Obama was totally in for abortion. That means killing black babies in the womb. Let's get that straight there. Who are those people again? The Black Israelites. Let's get that straight, Black Israelites. You're evil Obama, your black brother, right?
Yeah.
He is all for killing black babies in the womb, and Trump was against that.
Sick. Evil. Evil person. Evil Obama.
With that.
He was for killing them he was for letting them die on the table.
Die on the table, man.
Yep.
This guy is a ghoul.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yep. Total phony.
Good work. Keep up the good work, James.
Thank you, Baba Go-To Guy. I appreciate it. Take care, man.
All right.
Let me get to Art in Ohio. Art, what's up?
Man, what's up with my main man? Hey, so look, man, Hake, I'm gonna run because I'm at this job or whatnot. I'm clocked in, but I'm on lunch. So I'm gonna try to run through this real quick. First of all, man, Mark called the other day and was trying to basically, he was trying to basically do the same thing I used to do when I was in elementary and middle school, and I was the best at it, making jokes and hurting feelings and getting under people's skin and making them want to fight me so they can get beat up by me. He was trying to call you gay and we're your girl and you probably don't even have sex. But he was I thought he said his dad was a deacon. If your dad is a deacon, Mark, the dude who called on the 29th, you should know that you ain't supposed to be having sex out of wedlock, you damn hypocritical fake Christian. Then I think it was a dude you had on your show yesterday who was talking about Trump's dad didn't like him.
Yeah, Brenton Langle.
Christian Langle. I had to cut him off. I didn't even want to listen to what he had to say. The rest of what he had to say, because he's a dang on idiot box. First thing first, he claims Trump's dad don't love him because he took a pocket knife from him when he was a kid. That's how you know he do love you.
Yeah,
you see what I'm saying? And my mom, I had a pocket knife when I was a kid. And my mom took it from me when I was about 11 years old, and I'm glad she did, because as much as I was getting in fights when I was a kid, if I'd have gotten in a fight and had a pocket knife, I'd probably shake somebody up if I'd have had it. And my mom more than likely knew it, and that's probably the smartest thing she done did in her whole life.
Nice.
With her liberal little self. Okay, and then he said that Trump's dad ain't humble. How did somebody said that Trump's dad ain't humble or whatnot? Because he don't want his kids being a pilot. If I'm a basketball player and I have a son, or I'm more likely going to probably want to play basketball. You tend to want your kids to go into the field that you are in. You see what I'm saying? Any parent's going to want to be like that. So, of course, his dad don't want him being no pilot. He want him to probably own buildings and manage buildings like his dad did.
Yeah.
And then, and then making jokes about your brother, and that caused him to drink. No. My brothers and sisters made jokes on me, and it made me tough when I was in high school and in elementary school, to where if anybody said anything to me, it used to run on. I knew how to throw jokes back. It didn't hurt me. So if his brother died because he was drinking or whatnot, that's on his brother. His brother had a weak spirit. That ain't on his dad or Donald Trump.
Right.
Dude don't know what he talking about. Then my next thing is, or whatnot, the last dude that was talking, or not Bible Go-To guy, because that's my main man too.
Nice.
That's my main man, Bible Go-To guy too. Okay. The dude was talking about 14 years old or whatnot is a kid. No, a kid is 8 years old, 9 years old, 10, 11. Once you get past 12, you are basically almost considered, and I think the Bible tells you that.
Yeah.
And I think the last, and if I ain't mistaken, I'm pretty sure 12 is when Father God considers all your sins as being, he counts the sins against you or whatnot. He considers you as an adult at 12, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
Already, baby. You know what I
The
mean?
real Jews consider you an adult at 12.
Yeah, and I mean, logically, at 14, you're closer to 18
Right.
than you are away from it. And I'm not messing with nobody under the age of 18 or whatnot. And even if you were, you got to. I'm 35 right now. So only the lowest number I mess with probably is about 22. That's what Artie to do. But yeah, man, a lot of these liberals, man, they have no common sense. They don't know nothing about parenting, and they always want to. They scream. They think they doing good when they are screaming Black Lives Matter and stuff, but don't understand that they being used as pawns, and then don't understand that the white people is using them as pawns, and the white people is even being used as pawns. It's out here promoting and pushing the Black Lives Matter, because if they really knew anything, they should be out here. The white liberals be out here screaming White Lives Matter. Why you tripping? Because they do matter. You need to be worried about the white people, because they the ones that's out here running around here acting scared and scared to stand up for themselves, just like some of these lost blacks is too.
Yeah.
So Father God bless you. I'm so sorry to have such a big mouth. But
No worries, Art.
I'm so thankful you let me get on here and talk, because it sharpens me up, man. It keeps me focused and able to throw my arguments and my points back and forth, you know what I mean? But, hey, God bless my man Hake, Jesse, Nick, Daniel, and Joel, and the whole cast up there on the Bond and the Hake Report. I'll catch y'all later.
All right, Art, appreciate you, man. Take care. Art should be my neighbor, says fan of the ladies. And that's one N-word you never want to call a black. The average one. Neighbor. But some of them are decent. Very nice. Malkuth X. So sensitive. Today's show has been biblical and manly, not for the faint of heart, says everything is fake. Yeah. And he referenced a show from September 29th, 2021. At an hour and 43 minutes and 58 seconds in, Mike from Louisiana got all vulgar and nasty and LGBT. Mike from Louisiana, he was a mess. Well, you talk about women. And John from Kentucky, too. You always criticize women, bash blacks. A female mindset. But I appreciated John from Kentucky. It sounds like you think differently from other friends who think that you're so different that you may have been a Trump supporter. So maybe you're on your way, John. I appreciate that. Wish a neighbor would, says Buffy the Vampire Slayer. Anyway. Man. Sexist men. Speaking of sexism, it's woman hating to shame a woman who is immodest. Apple News shared this last word. If people attack me for it, that's their misogyny. It doesn't faze me. That's at this woman named Alexandra. I assume she's a woman. Alexandra Hunt. Phony politician. 28 years old, born in 1993, stripper in college, now running for office out of Pennsylvania, just like that phony Chris Rabb, Pennsylvania guy. She looks kind of not morally straight to me. Not morally straight. Alexandra Hunt, growing up as the daughter of two teachers, in Rochester, New York. Let me see if I can screenshot this for you guys. Man, this is ridiculous. Because this is terrible. There was a puff piece put out by The Lily for her, put out by Haley Weiss, October 4th, on The Lily. She was a stripper during college. Now she's running for Congress and telling her story. And Alexandra Hunt just kicked off her run for Pennsylvania's 3rd district. No thanks. Look at this woman. Doesn't even look like a... Anyway, I don't want to get too crazy. Covers most of Philly. Consistently Democrat district in the entire country. One of the most consistently Democrat district in the entire country. Kind of trying to unseat the incumbent Dwight Evans, who's been in the House since 2016, not long. Look at this woman. I guess it's a woman. The pandemic has made her run all the more urgent. She has a master's of science and a master's of public health. Oh, yeah, that's going to be great. From the Philly area universities. Works as a data manager for a biopharmaceutical company. I realized they weren't coming to help us. We were kind of on our own. A failed state. Talking about PA. Talks about her background as a community organizer, activist, and sex worker at a campaign kickoff September 25th. Degeneracy, shamelessness, all a mess. What an evil woman. Misguided. The scumbags are, by the way, getting involved with mothering. Here in California, Gavin Newsom, the beta governor of California, Democrat, signed into law a law aiming to close racial gaps in maternity and infant deaths. The Momnibus Act will expand Medicaid eligibility for those who can't afford the services because black women are 3 times more likely to die from causes tied to pregnancy than white women. And that's racism. We need to close those racial gaps. So they're going to subsidize midwifery and all that stuff. Advocates for maternal health applauded the measures, but they're pushing for a federal version. Free stuff for the women. These independent women. There was a Planned Parenthood abortion doctor who was led to a pro-life perspective, according to her, by the hand of God. This woman's name is Doctor Patti Giebink. Giebink. Patti, P-A-T-T-I. Out of Sioux Falls, South Dakota. And she was an abortion doctor, meaning a baby-killing doctor. Worked for Planned Parenthood in the mid-90s. I think I have a couple of pictures of her. Abortion doctor, let's see. Ex-abortionist doctor, moved by the hand of God. Dr. Patti Giebink, from Chamberlain, South Dakota, entered the medical profession in the 80s as a liberal. Devoted to, quote-unquote, women's health, abortion was vital to women's health care, saving women's lives. And she looks not unlike this evil stripper woman, misguided woman who thinks that she should run for office. Except older. Dr. Patti Giebink. Can you find the picture of Patti Giebink for me? And this Planned Parenthood ex-abortionist doctor. This is a positive story from the Epoch Times. All of the history pre-Roe v. Wade, women dying or becoming physically injured by illegal abortion. That's what was so prevalent among these women's groups when I was in medical school. She's told, focus on the family. As for the baby, she wrote in an article for CMDA, an outlet called CMDA, I was told it's just tissue. Some doctor thinks abortion is just tissue, the baby, making it easier to settle my conscience. Initially, when early ultrasound pictures were more like a snowstorm than detailed images we see today, fetuses, meaning babies, seemed less human. 1995, she got a job with Planned Parenthood, spent 2 years working part-time, became a full-time abortion doctor for the 3rd and final year. Her part-time stint was mentally schizophrenic, terminating pregnancies, as they called it, once a week at Planned Parenthood, slaving to save the lives of mothers and babies other days of the week. Wow. And then she became a full-time baby killer. Blown away by how busy they were. Up in Sioux Falls, is that where she was? Sioux Falls, South Dakota? Planned Parenthood seemed more like an industry than a health service, she said. They're just about money, and abortion is their top money maker. Wow. It was supposed to offer counseling to patients who came. There was almost none. She only had 2 brief 2-minute consultations in the room with her patient before the suction machine was turned on. Verbal communication became impossible. Nor was she supposed to counsel. It was very clear to me that I was a technician, she said. Wow. And by the way, the facility wasn't really clean, she said. I never saw anybody from the health department ever, she said, at her 3 years at the Planned Parenthood. And then she broke protocol, though, by counseling patients who seemed conflicted. Later recalled one of her interactions, she was really ambivalent. She was clearly undecided, referring to a woman who wanted to kill her baby, but wasn't sure. You seem to be struggling, this woman said, the doctor. And she said she really didn't want to do this, but already paid her money and she traveled to get there. She might as well go through with it. You know, you can reschedule. If you're unsure, reschedule. She was so afraid she wasn't going to get her money back. And I said, you will get your money back. Man, women got the wrong priorities, right? What a mess. She was terminated from her position in September 1997 when it was a relief for her. It's crazy. Women just basically have to be told what to do. She didn't even quit of her own accord, even though she knew that it was wrong. What a mess. Looking back, she felt like the hand of God was protecting and leading her on the path toward him. Studied Roe v. Wade and all that stuff. Crazy, huh? Interesting story. That's from the Epic Times. I'll post it on my blog post. I spit. Anyway, let me get to a call. Rick in Hampton, Virginia. We've got a couple of minutes to go. Rick, how are you doing?
My brother James, how you doing?
Doing well, thank you.
Good, good. Man, I'll tell you, man. You know the guy who you just hung up with, the last guy you talked to?
Who, Art?
Man.
Art in Ohio?
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, he's in Ohio? Man, I would love to link up with that guy, man.
Nice.
I really would like, every time he calls me, I wish I had his information. I'm going to have to give you my contact information the next time he calls. Call me.
Yeah.
I like him. He's got his head on together. But anyway,
yep.
What I want to talk about is, I work for the federal government in the Department of the Navy, and I think November 26th, we got to be vaccinated. Everybody has to be vaccinated.
Wow.
Face consequences. So I'm like, I don't know what to do. I got a bad feeling about this shot. I really do that, James.
So then why don't you apply for some exemption or invoke your religious or because if you don't feel that God wants you to do this, or if you have a medical exemption.
Most likely I will, by me being a believer, a Christian, I probably go with religion more than medical. So I thank God for my health, man. It's so amazing.
Don't panic about this thing then.
You know,
if you feel unsettled about it, I mean, when in doubt, don't. But wait and see what happens. It's not something to panic about.
Right.
Do you catch
You're
church?
Right about that,
do you catch church with Jesse Lee Peterson?
Most of the time, I may miss some, but I try and catch most of the service.
I feel like last week or the week before we covered this because some people are facing these situations too. Man, Rick, I gotta go. I appreciate you calling in.
Oh God, yeah, it is 2:00. Okay, 2:00 over here anyway.
Yeah.
Okay, James, man, love you, man. Appreciate the encouragement, man. Keep up the good work, my brother.
All right, and let me know how it goes. I want to hear how things go for you with that.
Absolutely, I will keep you posted. That way we can report it to all the other people that don't want to get this darn shot.
Nice. Take care, Rick.
Love you guys. Be good.
You too. Very nice. Tony in California and the rest of the callers. William in California. Wow. Blacks in California trying to get a hold of me. William, the sensible one, says wants to talk about the blacks being too into their race, as John from Kentucky was. And Tony says that Trump has to testify for so-called sexual assault. Another simp bashing men over false accusations by women. What a coward. Anyway, guys, I appreciate it. The Hake Report for my stuff, thehakereport.com for my stuff. We will have I do believe, and I'm not positive, On Jesse Lee Peterson YouTube channel, a throwback from God's Learning channel, Jesse Lee Peterson, in 2004 or so, talking about forgiveness. That will be a premiere at 4 p.m. Pacific time today, unless I'm mistaken. But check the JLP YouTube, and hopefully so. Thanks again, guys, and take care.
Wow.